A paint that cleans itself under the influence of light and also removes impurities from the air. A freshly painted white building wall doesn't stay white forever. Various substances from the air accumulate on its surface, and over time the color changes, requiring repainting. Perhaps such practices will become forgotten. Scientists have developed a paint that not only cleans itself, but can also remove pollutants from the air. Air pollution poses a serious threat to health, but it also affects the appearance of buildings. Scientists have been working for years on a special type of paint that would be able to retain its color for longer and withstand difficult environmental conditions. It seems that such a paint was created. Scientists from the Università Politecnica del Marche in Italy and the Technische Universität Vienna, Wien, have developed a paint that can not only clean itself, but also do the same with the surrounding air. The description and results of the research were published in the journal ACS Catalysis. The secret of the new paint are specially modified titanium oxide nanoparticles. They make the paint acquire self-cleaning properties when exposed to sunlight. This discovery could minimize the need to repaint your walls while also helping to remove toxic substances from the air. Indoor air pollution can pose a serious health risk. Common sources include tobacco smoke, mold, pet dander, and household cleaning products. These pollutants can lead to respiratory problems, allergies, and even more serious diseases such as asthma. Poor indoor air quality can also exacerbate existing health problems and impact overall well-being. For years, people have been trying to use non-standard wall paints to purify the air, says Professor Günther Rupprechter from TU Wien. In this context, titanium oxide nanoparticles are particularly interesting. They can bind and decompose a wide range of pollutants, he adds. However, simply adding regular titanium oxide nanoparticles to the paint can affect the life of the paint. While nanoadditives would break down contaminants, they would also make the paint unstable and make it more likely to crack. They could also release potentially harmful volatile organic compounds. Moreover, after some time, nanoadditives would cause the paint to turn gray. But nanoparticles can self-clean if exposed to UV radiation. Titanium oxide is the so-called photocatalyst, a material that enables chemical reactions under the influence of appropriate light. Communication researchers noted that photocatalytic paints are already available on the market, but their operation is based on artificial sources of UV radiation. In practice, this is of little use. Repeatedly exposing the wall to intense UV light to stimulate the self-cleaning process would be burdensome. Our goal was to modify the nanoparticles in such a way that the photocatalytic effect could also be induced by ordinary sunlight, explains Günther Rupprechter. This allows you to activate the self-cleaning properties more easily. The researchers achieved the desired effect by incorporating an admixture of phosphorus, nitrogen, and carbon into the titanium oxide nanoparticles, which reduced the amount of energy needed to initiate the reaction and enabled it to operate in ordinary sunlight. UV radiation creates free charge carriers in the particles, which cause the decomposition of trapped air pollutants and their release. In this way, the pollutants do not remain permanently bound to the paint, and the color of the walls remains stable for a long time, researchers wrote in the release. UV light excites electrons in titanium oxide nanoparticles, which interact with airborne water molecules to create highly reactive hydroxyl radicals. These compounds remove contaminants that come into contact with the paint, converting them into less harmful substances such as carbon dioxide and water. We have now investigated this phenomenon in great detail, using various methods of surface and nanoparticle analysis, says Kazar Makbul, co-author of the study. This way, we could show exactly how our molecules behave before and after adding them to the wall paint, he adds. The research team mixed modified titanium oxide nanoparticles with regular, commercially available wall paint and treated the painted surface with a solution containing contaminants. Tests showed that up to 96% pollutants can be removed by natural sunlight. The paint color itself has not changed. Test results are one thing, reality is another. Tests in laboratory conditions are carried out on a small scale and all parameters, such as temperature, humidity, and concentration of pollutants, are well controlled. Commentators emphasize that it will be difficult to replicate the results in real use. But even if the performance drops by a few or a dozen %, it will still be a good result. For the commercial success of such paints, it is also important to avoid expensive raw materials. For example, noble metals such as platinum or gold are used in catalysis. In our case, however, elements that are easily available are enough. We used fallen olive tree leaves to obtain phosphorus, nitrogen, and carbon, and titanium oxide was obtained from metal waste that is usually simply thrown away, says Ruprechter. A skull from Egypt from over 4,000 years ago shows traces of attempts to treat cancer. The ancient Egyptians were extremely advanced in the field of medicine. They are known to have dealt with many illnesses and injuries. It turns out that they also tried to cure cancer. In a new publication, scientists describe a skull that shows traces of cancer, but also of attempts to treat it. The ancient Egyptians had exceptional medical skills. They identified, described, and treated various diseases and injuries. They also knew about cancer. The first known written mention of cancer dates back over 3,000 years. In a text known as the Edwin Smith Papyrus, parts of which were published in the Cancer Letters, which was probably written by an Egyptian mathematician, physician, and architect named Imhotep, there are descriptions of bodily injuries and surgical procedures. In his work, Imhotep described 48 different medical cases, including several involving breast cancer. The text was written in ancient Egyptian hieratic script. In it, Imhotep identified the characteristics of different types of tumors, including oily tumors and solid tumors. He also included descriptions of breast cancer, which he characterized as a bulging mass in the breast that spreads under the skin and is cool, hard, and dense like unripe hemata fruit. In the text, Imhotep provides a number of treatments for various diseases. However, when describing a breast tumor, he laconically states that there is no therapy. But that doesn't mean the ancient Egyptians didn't try to cure cancer. The new study, published in the journal Frontiers in Medicine, analyzed a human skull currently in the collection of the University of Cambridge. Analysis dating from 2686–2345 BC skulls showed the presence of a large primary tumor and over 30 smaller metastatic lesions. The researchers found that these lesions were surrounded by cut marks, likely made by a sharp object such as a metal tool. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians were trying to cure the patient, a man aged 30 to 35. This discovery provides unique evidence of how ancient Egyptian medicine attempted to deal with or study cancer more than 4,000 years ago. This is an extraordinary new perspective in our understanding of the history of medicine, added the study's lead author, Professor Edgard Camaros from the University of Santiago de Compostela. We see that although the ancient Egyptians were able to deal with complex skull fractures, cancer was the limit of their medical knowledge, said Tatiana Tondini of the University of Tübingen, first author of the study. We wanted to find out what role cancer played in the past, how common this disease was in ancient times and how ancient societies responded to this pathology, she explained. For this purpose, scientists examined the skull and mandible, which was given the number 236 in the collection. Microscopic analyses and computed tomography revealed a large cancerous lesion, classified as nasopharyngeal cancer. Additionally, researchers found approximately 30 small and round metastatic lesions scattered throughout the skull. Most of these lesions are small, but there are some noticeably larger ones, including a dime-sized hole drilled into the top of the man's skull, most likely after the tissue was destroyed by the cancer. But what surprised the scientists most was the incision marks visible around the metastatic lesions, which were made with a sharp object, as if an ancient surgeon was trying to remove the tumor with a metal instrument. When we first observed these traces under the microscope, we couldn't believe what was in front of us, Tondini noted. It appears that the ancient Egyptians performed some type of surgical intervention related to the presence of cancer cells, proving that ancient Egyptian medicine also conducted experimental treatments for medical research in connection with cancer, explained Professor Albert Isidro, oncological surgeon from Sagrat Cor University Hospital in Spain, co-author of the publication. In their analyses, the researchers also examined another skull, marked E270 and dated to 663-343 BC, which belonged to a woman over 50 years old. This skull also shows a large lesion resembling a cancerous tumor. Investigators determined it was osteosarcoma or meningioma. The bones also show traces of healed wounds, most likely resulting from injuries. One of them appears to have resulted from a violent incident involving the use of sharp weapons. Scientists speculate that these healed lesions may indicate the medical intervention this woman endured. Scholars have admitted that medicine in ancient Egypt was advanced enough to cure serious head injuries, but not cancer. The researchers also said that examining skeletal remains poses some challenges that make it difficult to draw definitive conclusions, especially since the remains are often incomplete and their clinical history is unknown. In archaeology, we work with a fragmentary part of the past, which complicates the exact approach, Isidro noted. This study contributes to a shift in perspective and provides an encouraging basis for future research in the field of paleoncology, but further work will be needed to unravel how ancient societies dealt with cancer, Camaros concluded.